John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Hello, everyone. This is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, here at the Alkemalon Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we often say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show that we care about the things that we do. And today, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in and taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen to some of the little things that I'll be talking about. Hopefully, I say something to encourage you. And for the last couple of weeks, uh, we've been on vacation and we had a little death in the family. We've been doing a little ministering to the family, trying to uplift one another. And remember, I always say people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show by what we do. And we went to be spend a little time with our family in St. Louis, and just to get away and relax a little bit, and to visit my mother-in-law and family. But during that period of time, she has a twin sister that passed in Dayton, Ohio. So we all got together and chartered a bus. My sister, Darlene, chartered a bus for the family. It was about 25 of us, and we left St. Louis on that Thursday and went to Dayton, Ohio to support our family there. And the funeral was that Friday, and we left back out that Saturday going back to St. Louis. And I just want to say that whenever opportunity comes and give you a chance to do something such as that, it's not the big things, it's not the little things, because I'm just a few weeks ago I was talking to one of my daughters, and she said something and it touched my heart. And she said, "Dad, it's not always just the big things." I said, "Yeah." She says the little things too, just a little bit at a time. So all I'm saying is that if we can just show an act of kindness, show an act that show that we care, that we are concerned about one another, that what we are going through, because sometimes we might think and feel like we are the only ones in the world that's going through anything, but we're not. And we need to take the time out and lift each other up. If someone need a crutch, let's try to be that crutch. If they need a leaning pole, let's be the leaning pole that they can lean on. Whatever they might need. Sometimes it may not be a financial thing. Sometimes people just need an ear. They just need somebody to talk to that they can tell their problems. You don't have to be able to even solve the problem, but if you could just be that ear, sometimes it just does a person all the good to have someone to listen to them, because a lot of time have you I've experienced where people be trying to talk to you or trying to talk to someone, and they'll tell me, go ahead with that, or go on, or I don't have the time, or call me back, or talk to me later. Sometimes we have to take the time out of our busy schedule and just be there, and just to be able to listen. And that shows that we care. That shows that we are concerned about not only what I'm doing myself as an individual, but I'm concerned about what you might be going through as well. Here, my wife and I, we take the time out every now and then. I got a nephew that's in a assisted living complex. So every now and then, and sometimes he could be a little testy. You always make sure that I know, or we know that he loves us, and he wants us to stop and pick him up something to eat. And if he had his way, it would be every week. But when you work like I work and the way we work and have our own lives, sometimes you can't do stuff like that every week. Sometimes you can't even do it once a month. But what I'm trying to tell you is that whenever you have the time, take the time and be able to reach that need for your loved ones, your nieces, nephews, cousins, uncles, aunts, whoever that might be. And as I was there in Dayton, Ohio, and being there with the family, and we was talking, and I thought about one of my cousins, my wife's cousins, there in Ohio. She told me that the mother, which is her mother, the funeral that we went to, she said, John, she said, I found a letter that my mom had wrote to you in 2013. And I had lost my brother. And that was touching to me. And she didn't get a chance to mail it. I don't know what happened. She forgot it or whatever. And I told her, I said, well, if you don't mind, if you didn't want to keep it for your own keepsake, I said, I would like to have that letter. I said, I'd like to see it. And the letter, she found it and gave it to me. And it was, she was just reaching out, meeting a need and trying to be uplifting at that particular time. That was in 2013. She wrote a letter and offered her concern and condolence for our family. I had lost my brother, and she was trying to lift my little spirits up and let me know that she cared and she was concerned and that she was thinking about us as a family. And hopefully, let me know that she was praying for me and my family. And if there was anything that she could do that, her family can do to help lift us up or do some, whatever we may have needed them to do. And it made me feel so good. It was a mixed emotion. It was a joyful, pleasant, pleased situation because at that time I was there paying my respect to her life experience, her celebration of life. And she had passed and we was at her funeral. And I couldn't help but to think, after that, and like I say, we have it's an emotional thing sometimes, you think about it. And I always try to think about how somebody else feels, what someone else is going through. I'm not the only person that's having problems. I'm not the only person that's having problems trying to pay my bills, my mortgage, or making groceries or whatever. We don't have a whole lot. And my father in law, late father and father in law, always used to say, silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, you are welcome. And I often try to let people know every now and then, I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a whole lot of time, but when I have the time, I try to take the time and I'll try to come and see about you. If I could bring you something, I call when I find out different ones may be going through a little sick or something, and I ask them, is there anything I can do? You need a can of soup or you need something from the store? Can I come by? You need me to go pick up something for you? Do you need a little transportation to get you from A to B at this point in time? You need a ride to work, to the doctor's office, or whatever. Like I say, it don't have to be a whole lot. You don't have to be able to make a mortgage payment for somebody and make weeks or two or three worth of groceries and chauffeur them day in and day out. Like my daughter say, it's the little things. And it could be just one little simple thing that you could do to lift somebody's spirit up. Even if it's no more than just taking the time out and making a phone call and say, hello, I was just thinking about you and I just thought I'd call you and let you know that you was on my heart. and I was thinking about you. I tell people I do the things that I do not because I'm obligated, but because it's in my heart to do. I care about people. I'm concerned about people. My brother told me, said, John, you can't save the world. No, I can't, but I can help different ones whenever I get a chance, whenever opportunity presented itself. I got a chance to, even if it's no more than sometimes sharing different experience with others to let them know and give them another little outlook and something else to think about in life. And I was talking to one of the nephews, and in my spirit, I was thinking about something my father said. He was bringing a message, and he was telling about how there was this old man, and he said, Dad, I think mentioned about he was eating the apple in particular at that particular time, and it made him think about the old man that was planting an apple tree. And I don't know how old the man was. Was he 60, 70, 80, 90, 100? I don't know. But nevertheless, he said that it was a couple of young men was standing there and they was watching the old man digging the little hole and dropping the little apple seed. And they said, what you doing? He said, oh, I'm just planting an apple tree. And said when he told them that, they bust out laughing. And they said, old man say, why are you planting an apple tree? He said, don't you know as old as you are, you will never get a chance to eat an apple off of that tree? And the old man looked at him and smiled, and he said, yes, I know. He said, but all my life, I've been eating apples. Never once have I thought about planting an apple tree so somebody else can eat off of it. He said, so just like the apples that I've been eating all my life, the chances are the people that planted them didn't get a chance to eat them. But I was able to enjoy the benefit of them planting that apple tree. And my little nephew looked at me, and I knew he was thinking. I didn't know what he was thinking, but I knew he was thinking about something. He said, that's something to think about. I said, yes, it is. I said, so all I'm trying to tell you is that you may not be able to benefit off of the things that you do today, but the things that you do will help to bring joy and peace and comfort to others. So, once again, this is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, here at the Alkemeline Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one. One brick, one building, one block at a time. And remember, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it's not in what I say, it's in what I do. And I do it because it is in my heart. Thank you and have a great day. I appreciate you.
John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.